What is up, guys? Paladin here, bringing you week 1 of PBA against Rich and the DC Shooters. I'm just gonna go right into the team. This is at level 50, so I brought Primarina, Choice Specs, Psychic Scald, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Psychic against Mega Venusaur from this, 2 Co's, it's actually 252, 96 speed, Timid, so outspeed, mid-speed Mega Venusaur, and the rest in HP. It was always 2 Co with Psychic, Scald's just there for stab, Moonblast, same thing. Shadow Ball is just really good against this team. Then we have Mega Lopunny, 228 speed, to outspeed, what is it called? Zygarde, 10% Zygarde Doge. Adamant. I didn't bring Jolly to outspeed Dugtrio because I just didn't think, he'd bring Jolly Dugtrio. Figured he'd be Adamant anyways. So I just brought this. I brought Ice Punch, Return, Quick Attack. Quick Attack was originally sub, but I changed it last second because I didn't think he'd bring Cryogonal to allow me to set up sub, or I didn't think I'd be able to get up sub on anything, so I just changed it to Quick Attack, and then Power Up Punch. Because if I get Power Up Punch, I could 2-co certain things, and then I figured, Power Up Punch behind a sub will allow me to hit with Return, and then he has to break the sub, then I'll hit another Return to kill them on, so that's the thought process, but I'll end up changing it, so it doesn't matter. I brought Habanberry, Salamence, Zygarde 10% obviously outspeeds me, and he also had Ditto, which I didn't want to bring setup and then Ditto just come in and sweep me, so I brought Habanberry because I figured if you can switch in Ditto, the Habanberry will allow me to take a hit and maybe, I don't think I actually kill with Dragon Claw. If I was outraged, I probably killed, but I didn't, when I was prepping originally, I didn't realize it was Zygarde Doge, so I had, I was thinking it was Zygarde, just normal Zygarde, so I had outrage, until I realized that, it was Zygarde 10%, and so I didn't need Outrage to kill, so I switched it to Dragon Claw. Earthquake Roost, and I had Toxic, and I was going back and forth between Toxic and Defog. I ended up being Defog. Enough speed to outspeed Xurkitree, modest Xurkitree, because I didn't really need speed against this team. He's a really slow team. Then I have Rotom Heat, Leftovers, Levitate obviously, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, Overheat, and then Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will always 2-co, Slowbro, like min Spidef Slowbro. No, well, even some Spidef Slowbro obviously, but it'll 2-co. And then I have HP, Max Defense, and then 8 Spidef. I brought Shucka Berry, Nidoqueen, Stealth Rock, Surf Power, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, 156 Defense, and then 100 in special attack. I don't remember exactly why I brought that defense, but I know Shucka and 1,000 arrows, obviously, is why I brought Shucka, and then Ice Beam can kill. If I got rocks up against Dougie, I can take an Earthquake and Ice Beam it, and I can also be able to kill Zygarde 10%, or even just normal Zygarde. I think it might have been for Zygarde at +1 to be able to live with Shucka Berry against 1,000 arrows. And I brought Cuff Aggregus, Icium Z with Haze, so I can get Haze off and then get a full health Cuff Aggregus. And then I have Will-O-Wisp Hex Destiny Bond just in case. So there's that. And then Max. This can live a +6 Belly Drum, or +6 from, what is it called? Slurpuff? Even after rocks, unless he gets a max roll, and I think that was without him adamant. It might have been adamant, but yeah, so it can live. So there's that. He wanted to bring Zygarde 10%, Venusaur, Sableye, Heatran, Slowbro, and he did actually want to bring the Cryogonal. I decided to lead off with Nidoqueen, kind of just to get up rocks, because I figured, if he leads off with Sableye, I can get off an attack. He might lead Heatran, but I have like Shucka and can't really do anything. And I figured maybe I get a switch. Maybe he leads, Venusaur just to get off the Mega, but he goes for a Giga Drain. That does a lot, meaning that this is probably offensive because it did a little bit more, but it also might just be because it's level 50 and there's a little bit more damage at level 50, so it's probably nothing. Probably normal damage. He goes for another Giga Drain. He gets a crit, which is a little unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter. So I switch into Rotom Heat. I go for Volt Switch here. I figured he probably will either switch into this or you go to this predicting a Will-O-Wisp. Obviously miss maybe predicting a Volt Switch and then being able to fire off 1,000 arrows. But I go into Cofagrigus from here. Uh, he probably just figures, okay, what am I going to do with Rotom Heat against this, because fire isn't super effective. I switch into Cofagrigus on the Sludge Bomb, take 25%. And here I go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I really couldn't do anything else. And Toxic Spike isn't really that good against his team. Well, yeah, because he has Mega Venusaur, so they're terrible against this team. He goes for Dark Pulse here, which is interesting, because I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, it's Cofagrigus, obviously, but Dark Pulse does like 33%, which makes me think this is like offensive trend. He gets another 33%, and I flinch this time, which sucks, meaning that I couldn't get. I think I went for Thunderbolt there. So I could, or Volt Switch even, I don't remember. But I went for one of the two. Here, I figure, okay, he's locked in. I figured he might go for, he'd either stay in and go for Rocks, or he'd switch there, but well, not really switch. I think he went for Rocks, but I decided now that I see that he's went for Dark Pulse twice to just go into, Primarina, thinking, okay, he's probably locked in. I go for Psychic, predicting like I switch into Mega Venusaur. Here, I switch because I figure, Sableye, kind of obvious, because I Psychicked, and I didn't want to have him just get like a switch into Heatran, or he goes Slowbro, or Sableye to just be immune to it, so I just switch into Rotom Heat, take a Freeze Dry, which is fine. I figured he might go for Freeze Dry there too, but I didn't really care. He goes for Rapid Spin here. I live, I take nothing, and I go for Volt Switch here. Rocks being gone kind of sucks, but it's whatever, so Volt Switch kills that. Rotom Heat's basically dead. And I go into Nidoqueen. He goes into his Zygarde 10%, probably just to kill this or get off 1,000 arrows, which is very good against my team. But I'm Shucka. That happens. I take like 29%, which is half, and I Ice Beam it, and it dies. So 2 Mons down. Rotom Heat's basically dead. Nidoqueen also basically dead. I go for Rocks here, I think, and he just kills me off because he's faster. I go into Rotom Heat here. I go for Thunderbolt, thinking, okay, he'll probably switch, because he doesn't want me to Will-O-Wisp this. But, or just in case he switches, I went for Thunderbolt too. Because I'm just better off, because I really don't outspeed anything besides the, Slowbro. Yeah, I guess Sableye, but I don't think he'd go Sableye. I go for Return here. I go into Mega Opening, I go for Return here. Because I figured going to Primarina and Psychic King was too obvious, and I didn't want to risk anything. I go for Return. I got a crit, which is super fortunate. I don't know if that crit, I think that crit tells me that he's definitely probably offensive, but I don't know. I go for Power Up Punch here because it kills this off, and it's just good against the other Mons. And so here I'm allowed to go for a Return, basically. Or no, I switch here. I probably should have went for a Return, but I didn't want to lose my Opening because I figured that's what would happen. But he goes for Scald on it, and here I figured, okay, he's probably going to go for another Scald, but he winds up going to Sableye, and so I go for Z-Haze, and I just get my HP back. I just wanted to not sack this off, so I went for that. He goes for Will-O-Wisp here, so we basically trade Will-O-Wisp. I figured he might have go for Taunt there, but I figured, why not go for Will-O-Wisp here. So here, he Calm Minds, meaning that he probably, means he is Will-O-Wisp, Calm Mind, so he doesn't have Taunt, and Recover, and then an attack. Probably like Shadow Ball or something. Or Dark Pulse, even. So I Hex, does a decent amount, and I figure he's just a Haze here, get rid of his stats. Thought him keep setting up. Obviously, I don't have leftovers mitigating this burn damage, so it's going to generally tick me down. He goes to Heatran here. I Hex again, get like 20%. It's not really going to matter. And then I stay in here, and I go for Destiny Bond. And I believe so it basically forces a switch, and so I'm allowed to get off and attack. So I go for Hex here, get 44% on this, and I'm going to die to burn on this next turn, but since Prankster is going to make him go first, the damage with Hex will stick. So there's that. He'll be at like 2% more because of it, but not really a big deal. Because he dies to most attacks anyways. I go to Mega Opening here just to quick attack it, get it out the way. I didn't want Salamence getting burned, obviously, because it can't kill Slowbro also. And I didn't want to go to Primarina and, risk a bunch of shit right now, so I just go into this, because I don't think... Well, actually, probably Shadow Ball killed. Shadow Ball probably killed, but it doesn't matter. I go for Power Up Punch. He scalds. Doesn't get a burn, which is good for me. I go for Return here, and the reason why I went for Power Up Punch and Return, unless I got a crit on the first return, it didn't matter that I went for 2 returns, because I could have went Return, then he Return, he goes for an attack. I go for Return again, he slacks off. He probably slacks off twice, I don't know the damage, and then he can attack me after a return and basically be at like the similar few percentage higher. So I still lose Mega Lopunny in the long run. I just go for the Power Up Punch plus Return. If I get a crit, I do way more. I don't think I kill, but I do a lot more if I crit on the return with Power Punch. I go for Shadow Ball here. I originally clicked Moonblast, and then I clicked Cancel, realizing that Shadow Ball was going to allow me to hit Heatran and Mega Venusaur. So I figured it'd just be better if I go for Shadow Ball instead of having to go for Moonblast, because Heatran 4 times resist it, and then I risk a switch into Salamence, and then back into Primarina. So I just go for Shadow Ball. Then Shadow Ball, because he is min speed. Turns out he's min speed Mega Venusaur. And then I just he goes for Ancient Power. I get the Shadow Ball off. Does 39. Gets Spadef Drop, which doesn't matter. And then he's going to go for Ancient Power again. If you got the boost from Ancient Power, the Spadef Drop might have lined up well, actually it didn't, because Ancient Power is doing nothing, but if he gets like a crit from the boost afterwards, then it matters, because he probably takes less, so yeah. There's that. I ended up winning the game 2-0. I keep saying, fucking hell. Primarina winds up getting a couple kills. Same thing with Mega Lopunny. So Rotom Heat killed this. Primarina killed 3 Mons. Nidoqueen got 1. And then Lopunny got 1 as well. So, yeah. And then Salamence wound up doing nothing. That is the end of the game. And then week 2, I don't remember who I play. So we started out the season good. And this was very bad. Shit. But it doesn't matter. So this is going to be me signing off. Have a nice day. Goodbye.